I'm backstage at the Birmingham Hippodrome with the comedian Brian Conley. Hello, Brian. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Birmingham's done well for you over the years, hasn't it?
It certainly has. It's paid my mortgage, definitely. I mean, it's not far from where I live, it's just up the motorway, and I love this theatre. I've got some great memories of here. Back in the 90s, especially when I was doing Panto with Britt Ekland, that was a really good time.
You mentioned Panto, which has, of course, an element of audience participation and rowdiness. How do you cope with that? Is it something that's difficult for you?
It is difficult, especially with the kids. You never know what they're going to come up with, but I'm up for that. Some theatres don't like the kids to come up on the stage anymore. They just finish with a musical number and that's it. But I think that's a shame, especially now I've got kids of my own. What a lot of theatres do now is get the parents to come down and stand in the aisles. And if there's a rowdy kid, we bring the parent up, and that puts the onus on the parent to keep the kid in check. But I like all that participation. It's what gives it energy and makes it live.
You do a range of different shows, though, don't you?
Yes, I do musical theatre and corporate work as well as Panto, but Panto's the best. It plays to my strengths, you know? I like the fact that it's got everything. Singing, dancing, comedy, and if there's something in the papers that day, I can pick up on it and put it in the show. And that's something that only I can do as the comedy character. The other characters in the show can't diverge from the script so much, but I can ad-lib. It's great. When I work in musical theatre, I can't do that. I have to stick to the script.
So, where did it all begin, this comedy career? When was your first time on stage?
The first time I was on stage was when I was 2. I was at this holiday camp and my mum and dad lost me in the dance hall. Then they heard loads of people laughing and they saw me up on the stage making a fool of myself. That was it after that. I was hooked. But what has also driven me is the fact that I was dyslexic. I found it difficult to keep up at school because my writing was bad. So naturally I became the class clown, the school joker. But I was always a good singer and singing was always my first love. Comedy came later. When I started doing clubs when I was 17, I found that you get paid more for doing comedy than you do for singing.
And you still do comedy now?
Yeah, I do. Most of the comedy I do now is actually corporate work. You know, these big work events where there's free food and drink. It's very lucrative, but it's a tough crowd. They've got a load of free alcohol and they get all boozed up. There's a big demand for it these days, but a lot of famous comedians can't do it. I've learnt how to handle it over the years, and I've got an answer for every situation now. I had to fall into it, really. It pays the mortgage.
And you still get nerves?
A guy once said to me that it doesn't get any easier. I dismissed that. I used to reckon that as I got older and more experienced, I'd be more relaxed and I wouldn't get so nervous. But I realise he was right. I want to do well, and that affects how you feel before the performance.
Brian Conley, thank you very much.